On the first episode of CPTV, we'll be checking out Prep's newest club.
Also, we'll be finding out how Subway sandwiches help varsity football player Thomas Corpus on game day.
Hello, my name is James Heldridge.
And I'm Nick Garrett. Welcome to this year's first installment of CPTV.
CPTV will be airing every 3 to 4 weeks and will bring the latest news here at Prep.
Here are some upcoming events for the next few weeks.
Sunday will mark Daylight Savings Time. Be sure to set your clocks back.
On Tuesday the 7th, we'll be having a formal dress day.
Thursday the 9th, there will be a 9:35 late start.
On Friday the 10th, there will be no school due to junior encounter.
Friday the 17th will be a C Day.
Finally, we have no school from November 22nd through 24th due to Thanksgiving.
CPTV's own Tom Pellets talked to a Prep football coach who had to leave his team to help those that are in need in Houston.
Yep, when you're ready. Dave Kerhofer, Hazmat Team Manager for Nebraska Task Force 1. We were deployed by FEMA, Urban Search and Rescue, to Hurricane Harvey in Houston, Texas. We were deployed down there due to Hurricane Harvey making landfall, and our operation involved water rescue and assistance in the Houston area. Basically, the USAR team, we have 6 boats, I believe, and we do extensive water rescue. We can also do structural rescue and things like that. And we were also involved extensively in the decontamination, because you know, when they're involved in floodwaters, there's all kinds of things that are in the floodwaters: petrochemicals, hazardous materials, human waste, waste products. The entire sewer system was shut down, so it became very imperative to make sure that every time guys came back from being out in the floodwaters was to get them cleaned up, get their suits decontaminated so we could go out the next day. You know, that night I remember, getting the call. It was very little preparation. We knew Hurricane Harvey was coming. Earlier in the day we had a meeting down in Lincoln, and we discussed, the possibility that we could go. Of course, we talked about sending a smaller team. Next thing you know, the whole task force is being deployed, an 80-person team. So some days I believe we're about 19 hours, 20 hours a day. I mean, sometimes we're working around the clock. It just depended. When we were first there and Harvey was making landfall, I mean, it rained like 48 straight hours. And I mean, we were just sending guys out and guys were coming back. So quite literally, as a decon team, we were working around the clock. And then what we found out is, as teams would get out there, is we couldn't get back. You'd be cut off by the floodwaters. Different levees would be breached. Different areas became more inundated than others. And so quite literally, you had teams that were spending the night in their trucks, in their cars, staying at fire stations. We were fortunate in that we all got back, but that was always a concern. But yeah, you're quite literally working around the clock for 3-4 days straight. The conditions were obviously it's a challenge living with that many people, sleeping in a classroom with, 15 other guys, and we're on cots, and there's a guy that snores, there's another guy that talks in his sleep, there's this, that, and the other thing, and obviously the stink and the smells, because we're not exactly, able to shower every minute of the day, but, there's a lot of togetherness, and, as time goes on, it becomes your new normal, and it's almost like, it's a unique experience, and you consider what these people are in, and it's like, this is a small sacrifice to live in these conditions, considering what these people are going through. I mean, where we were staying at, we had like 8 80-man teams. Like I said, it was like freshman retreat, minus all the fluffy songs and scripture. There's a bunch of people staying in a high school, but it was nowhere near as fun as freshman retreat. Versus Hurricane Katrina versus Houston. Katrina had already hit and was already out. Hurricane Harvey was hit I mean, we were in the midst of the disaster. You know, this is where I say the rubber met the road. This is where that oath you took, you know, when you joined the USAR team to protect life and do what is necessary really came to play. What surprised me most in Houston was the resilience of the people down there. I mean, they were amazing people. I mean, these are the people in the midst of disaster, you know, midst of losing everything that they have, and they still have this positive, still go get 'em attitude. And you know, before Houston, I mean, you knew the state of the country. Everybody was divided. There was all this division, that. And when we went to Houston, it was like everybody was coming together to help each other. I mean, people were really reaching out. I mean, you had people coming from Louisiana. We had all kinds of volunteer people driving around in their boats, doing what they could to help, you know, evacuate these people. I mean, we're quite literally working with people we've never met before. And, you know, you're working with high school kids. We had high school kids out in boats trying to do, you know, what they could do.
What do Subway sandwiches and Phil Collins have to do with Thomas Corpus? CPTV's Jake Subcheck asks the starting wide receiver 7 questions.
As a junior, do you feel like a leader on the team?
As a junior, I do feel like I'm a leader on the team. I try to lead best vocally as well as by my example. But as a junior, it is a little bit more difficult to try to speak up because you know, there are a lot of seniors on the team too, and they play a primary role as leaders. But I think it's really important on a football team to kind of know your place, but also to not be afraid to step up when you're needed.
Do you feel some weight on your shoulders to be the starter?
The weight that I feel on my shoulders as a starter is not as heavy as some people might think. Playing varsity as a sophomore really kind of broke it in and all the nerves and stuff. So as a junior, kind of my second year on varsity, I'm kind of getting used to it more and more every game. So the weight is not as bad as, you know, you might think.
Are you ever worried that you won't be able to play up to expectations?
The worry that you have to play expectations always disappears right after the first kickoff. There's always that week, the whole week leading up to that Friday night, and everyone's, you know, telling you good luck, and the coaches and friends and players and family are worried about you, and you know that they have expectations, especially, you know, because we're great prep, and the expectations are always high. But right when I start the game, the only thing I'm thinking about is winning, and the expectations all kind of disappear.
What were your goals coming into this season?
Goals coming into this season for me would definitely be the state championship. I also wanted to really make a difference on this team. Last year as a sophomore, I played behind Shannon Brewer, and he was an all-star, but he was also a workhorse, so I did get in a few times, and I really felt a part of the team when I was actually making a difference and catching footballs and scoring touchdowns. And this year I really wanted to make a difference on the team and kind of help us win that state championship.
What is your favorite touchdown celebration?
My favorite touchdown celebration would have to be, after I score a touchdown, I just like to be pretty cool about it. I like to save the real celebrations for the sideline. I don't have any specific one, but I like to just get thrown up by the linemen. That's always fun, just to kind of accept the congratulations from my teammates and jump up in the air and chest bump and side bump each other, that type of thing.
Do you have any pregame rituals?
My pregame rituals include mask with the team, of course, after school every single Friday. And then I always go to Subway and get the same exact sandwich on the same exact bread every week. And then as far as game time, I always listen to In the Air Tonight before I take the field by Phil Collins. That always gets me pretty hyped up. And I always take a knee before we run down the field and say the prayer with the Blue Army. And just say kind of prayer to keep all the players safe.
How do you think you're going to do in the playoffs this year?
I believe that we will do very well in the playoffs this year. We kind of struggled a little bit with adversity, but now we know the kind of team we are, and we know how to battle. We've done that since the very first game versus Westside, and I have great faith in our football team to be playing in November.
For our last story, we were playing it in first grade. Now we can play it in high school.
CPTV's Anthony Cowell goes in search for Prep's newest club.
The Hide and Seek Club is the newest addition to Creighton Prep's long list of clubs and activities that they encourage.
What made you decide to join the Hide and Seek Club?
The Hide and Seek Club, well, just the idea of coming out on a day off and playing with some prep friends and upperclassmen. I thought it would be a fun opportunity to kind of get involved and enjoy the outdoors.
I really enjoyed being the seeker because I found some guys that had some good hiding places just by going in a strategic place and kind of going in an organized fashion out there looking for guys.
That's illegal. Out of bounds.
Hide and Seek Club, so we played it. We were hanging out once, and then we were playing it at my house. And then I'm like, yo, what if we started this club at Prep? So I bounced the idea off Jack at a CMAB meeting, and he's like, that's an insane idea. And then so he took the reins, and we talked to Mr. Kenny that night, and we talked to Father Tillman via moderator, and so he had to come up from there. So
Hide and Seek has always been a pretty fun game for everybody. It's probably the game that everyone knows along with tag. So one time we were messing around playing hide and seek. We're just like, why don't we start a huge club at Prep like this? That'd be a good time. We can get people out for that.
Creighton Prep highly encourages their students to partake in extracurricular activities such as sports like basketball and baseball, or their long list of clubs such as the newest one, which is Hide and Seek Club. The members of Hide and Seek Club pick a day off that they have, and they all gather together and play the family-loved game of hide and seek. This has been Anthony Cole with CPTV.
Thank you for watching the first episode of CPTV.
Tune in next time for Prep's latest news.
See you next time.